So I love the Super Carlin Brothers. Don't get me wrong, I will probably believe anything that they put onto the internet.
Syndrome was not working alone. And no, I do not mean Mirage. I instead mean Rick Dicker and the American government.
Because Harry is a wonderful, gleaming example of what you might call an imposter.
Address it. So here we go. Ray's mom 3.0. Could Kira from Solo be her mother? Potential reveal that Credence is a Lestrange? Because today we are going to discuss how 11 from Stranger Things is basically Jean Grey.
Yep, sounds legit. I believe it. But if I'm going to start posting geek culture theories and videos every Tuesday, I'm gonna have to develop a mind of my own, and this video is where I'm gonna start, because I just can't get behind the idea that Loki is Hulk. Hi, I'm Brenna Beckwith, and this is the Brenna Beckwith video blog. I know I'm gonna have to change this intro. So, you know how I feel about Loki's death. Loki is the god of mischief. He's not straightforward about anything. He always has a mischievous little plan going on. I couldn't believe that he did that. I wanted to feel bad about Loki's death. I wanted to cry, but I couldn't because I was just so confused as to why the heck Loki did that. Even in the beginning, I knew that Loki's death was wrong. 5 minutes into a movie and he makes the stupidest mistake I've ever seen Loki make in my life. No, I didn't buy it from the minute it happened, but I just didn't know how to explain it until now. The Super Carlin Brothers put out a theory about Loki being Hulk.
The more I think about it, the more I'm pretty sure Loki isn't dead and is actually the Hulk.
I'll explain it briefly, but I do suggest that you go check out their video as well. I don't agree with them, and I'm going to reference their video a few times. I do also want to say that the Super Carlin Brothers didn't make up this theory about Loki being Hulk. I think it's been on the internet for a while, and I am just very late to the game in talking about this theory. Loki disguised himself as Hulk, disguised somebody else as himself, and throughout the entire Avengers Infinity War, Bruce Banner is not Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner is Loki. I think it's a really good plot line for the comic books, but I don't think it would translate very well to film, and I don't think people will really understand the idea that one actor played a different character played by a different actor for half the movie. It's hard to understand, and I don't think Avengers 4 will have enough time to explain this when everything else is going on too. While it is a well thought out theory and I do like it, I just don't think it's practical. I think it's a little too much for me. I, however, am still in the denial stage of grief when it comes to Loki's death, and I refuse to believe that Loki is dead. And I have a slightly more practical and characteristic explanation for how Loki survives. So the Super Carlin Brothers and I agree on a few things. Number one, Loki isn't dead. Number two, Loki is disguised as someone else. And number three, the person who is being killed by Thanos is not Loki. So one of my main arguments for why Loki isn't disguised as Hulk, why I don't think they had a plan to send Loki disguised as Hulk back to Earth to warn Stark. I don't think that this plan happened. Number one, I don't think they had enough time, and number two, Thor. Thor believes throughout Infinity War that Loki is dead. Thor 100% believes that Loki is dead.
He's been dead before. You know, this time I think it really might be true.
Doubling down on Loki being dead twice. We know what's really going on.
And if they had a plan that Loki would disguise himself as Hulk, Thor would probably know about it, and Thor would not react the way that he did to fake Loki's death.
Where is the real Bruce Banner? To which I answer with a question. Where is Valkyrie?
We know from Joe Russo himself that Valkyrie and a few other Asgardians escaped on escape pods right before Thanos attacked the ship. So Ben's idea is that if Loki was acting as the Hulk or Bruce, that Bruce got on an escape pod with Valkyrie. I don't buy that, because Bruce was Hulk when Thanos attacked the ship. So why would they let their biggest weapon get into an escape pod and leave the ship when some of them, like Thor, obviously stayed to fight Thanos? Why would they send their biggest weapon away? And also, Hulk just wouldn't fit on an escape pod. When they could fit more Asgardians into an escape pod or fit a giant Hulk, they would fit more Asgardians. But you know who could fit on an escape pod? Loki. Here's my far more realistic, albeit slightly more boring explanation for how Loki survives. Loki disguises himself as a random Asgardian and gets into the escape pod with Valkyrie, and they escape. This seems far more like something Loki would do. So if Loki disguised himself as an Asgardian, who is this?
You might want a guide. Do you have a bit of experience in that arena?
My opinion is that is some random, very cocky Asgardian that Loki chose to switch bodies with, so nobody would think that he escaped. I imagine that Loki wants Thanos and Thor to think that he's dead, so he can go on his little god of mischief plots and do his own thing for a little while everybody thinks he's dead. That is entirely something Loki would do. Do you know what Loki wouldn't do? This.
Do hereby pledge to you my undying fidelity.
But you know who would do that? Some random Asgardian who suddenly found himself in Loki's body and wanted to save the universe by stabbing the most powerful man in the neck. I like to think that Loki and Valkyrie are gonna come back in Avengers 4 and just kick ass in the name of their fallen people, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on that one. But what I can definitely see happening is a flashback in Avengers 4 where Valkyrie is rushing people into escape pods, leading them in, trying to get as many Asgardians in. Thor is like begging Loki and Hulk and a few others to stay and fight Thanos, and then there's some big crash. Thor turns around and Loki sneakily grabs a random Asgardian. They switch bodies, and then the Asgardian gets into the escape pod, and the escape pod disconnects from the ship as Thanos lands on the ship, and it's amazing. And there's music. And then it all comes back to the present where Thor is looking Loki right in the eye again for the first time. But honestly, anything could happen. While I totally stand SuperCarlinBrothers, and the theory that Loki is Hulk is very exciting, I think Loki survived in a far more mischievous and far less exciting way. That's what Loki does. He takes the easy way out, he doesn't tell anybody his plans, and he transforms himself into random people to get out of conflict. That's kind of what Loki does. I think it's far more likely that he would want to get out disguised as a random Asgardian than as the freaking Hulk. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree with the Loki is Hulk theory? Do you agree with my theory? Do you have your own, or have you gone through all 5 stages of grief and are now at acceptance of Loki's death? Like I said, I will be making videos like this from now on Tuesdays, so subscribe for that, and let me know what you want me to talk about, what you want to see, what fandoms you want me to talk about, what theories you want me to talk about, movies, all of that stuff. Let me know, and if you like this video, click the like button, and again, like I said, subscribe for videos every Tuesday, and other than that, I'm Brenna Beckwith, this is the Brenna Beckwith video blog. Until next time, make good choices and question everything, especially Loki.